What's going on, car family? I'm Ben Wayne, and thank you for joining me in another video. Today we're here to check out the all-new 2025 BMW X3 xDrive 30i. Now, when I first saw this car right off the bat, what jumps out to me about this 4th generation X3, I'm just going to get into it and be 100% authentic here, is that this one actually looks like it's unisex. It has a little bit more masculine vibes to it. The previous X3s, you know, they look like they were not designed where anybody could drive them. This one has a little bit more of a masculine aesthetic, and you know, it just screams that they put some effort into the design of this one. So this one is finished in an Arctic Race Blue metallic exterior. The interior features a beige Vegenza leatherette. That's their word for saying fake leather, but it feels and looks like real leather. It's actually high quality. It feels pretty good. So that's the color combo for this one. But right off the bat, the new design language in here on the exterior, I'm really feeling that. So the X3 is in a very competitive segment when it comes to sport compact crossovers. It's competing against vehicles such as the Mercedes-Benz GLC and the Audi Q5. And there are others in that bracket as well, as I'm sure you guys know. So this is a very competitive sector, and this is a vehicle which seems like, from the design standpoint, they definitely got right. So this one features the M Sport package, which is going to give us, you know, a little bit more of an aggressive front fascia, a sport suspension, 21-inch wheels, and different exterior and interior elements that just kind of jazz this vehicle up. So starting at the front, we do have LED daytime running lights that kind of double accents the headlamps, right? So there's this new BMW design language of having a double DRL accent around the headlamp. So everything's LED, of course. We have the large kidney grille, and if you look closely, you'll see the kidney grille has its own sensors and front camera integrated into the design. And also it comes optioned with, you know, lighted accents, illuminated accents. So in low light conditions, you can see that the kidney grille is highlighted. You know, of course, that's an option if you want it. But from the front, I think that this vehicle just commands a presence that the X3 and previous generations simply did not. So from the design standpoint, it looks like this vehicle costs a little bit more than it does from the exterior. This one's priced at about $60,800 exactly. But from the design standpoint, it looks like it's more expensive than it is. And at least that's the reaction I got from a lot of people that I've shown this vehicle to. Underneath the hood, we're looking at a BMW turbo 4-cylinder power plant, giving us 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, and 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. This is a 48-volt mild hybrid setup. The fuel efficiency in this thing is really good. You're looking at 27 city and 33 highway, so that ain't bad at all. So they're checking off the boxes in this competitive sector. They got the looks down, they got the fuel efficiency down, and they definitely have the power down. This thing feels like it has adequate power. So it gets up and gets moving pretty quickly, which is more than adequate for your daily driving needs. Coming to the side profile, you'll notice that this vehicle is optioned out with the Shadowline specification, so that's going to give us some blacked out accents around the window surrounds. We do have body color side view mirrors as well, and then I noticed that, you know, in other competitors, in other segments, they usually throw this, you know, non-body color cladding on the wheel arches. This one has body color wheel arches, and it just takes the look of this vehicle up another notch. And again, that just adds to the overall vibe of it looking more expensive than what it really is. Now, I mentioned we do have the M Sport suspension, and we also have the 21-inch wheels that come with this as well. Looks really great against the car's body color, if you ask me. So I like the overall aesthetic, and of course, you're getting the traditional X3 silhouette. You know, you guys know what to expect when it comes to BMW's compact sport SUVs. You still get that sporty vibe. It still looks cool, right? Between, you know, the M Sport suspension, the wheels, and the Shadowline specification, it looks and handles pretty well. Now you're looking at about 8.5 inches of ground clearance for those who are wondering. Now coming towards the rear, I noticed we do have like an upright design. We have LED lamps in the back as well that kind of wrap around the car's bodywork. We have a power lift gate, of course, and since this is an SUV, you open up that lift gate, you're looking at about 31 cubic feet of storage. Drop that second row, that increases it to around 67 cubic feet, which is really strong in this segment, by the way. Coming lower, we do have black accents. You will notice there aren't any exhaust, exposed exhaust in this vehicle. Towards the back, there's no exposed exhaust. I guess they just wanted a clean aesthetic there, or maybe, you know, it's giving you that, hey, we're looking to go full electric relatively soon vibe. That's what I'm picking up. You know, a lot of manufacturers are starting to head into that or head out, depending on who you are. But that's the subject for another video. Coming towards the interior. So the interior has, you know, quite a lot of things going on. We'll start with the dash. Of course, we have an injection molding on the top of the dash, but we do have this large infotainment display system here, over 14 inches in width, lots of acreage here, and it's lightning fast and super crisp, as you would come to expect. So we have iDrive 9, so the latest iteration of iDrive is incorporated into this vehicle, and you know, there's a slight learning curve with it. I will say 99.9% of the controls are incorporated into the touchscreen, so there's going to be a slight learning curve with that. With that being said, let me pull up the camera real quick. And you can see the camera is relatively sharp. We do have tons of different settings for the camera. We have a 3D view, and you can adjust that as you see fit. So all types of modes in here. There's a car wash view. That's pretty neat. And, you know, camera cleaning settings and whatnot. So the camera image in this vehicle is super sharp. Let's go ahead and get moving again. And, you know, again, slight learning curve, but once you learn where things are, it's easy to navigate. You know, your air conditioner settings, all is integrated into the touchscreen. Now coming lower, we do have these tabs here that allow you to adjust the air conditioning vents. Now, it looks super clean and modern. The one drawback is it's a little bit harder to see what angle you have the slats of the air conditioning vents at. So you kind of have to feel for it. Again, there's a slight learning curve with that. Coming lower, we do have wireless charging on the driver's side and storage on the passenger side, 2 USB Type-C ports, 2 cup holders, and of course your drive mode selector sitting here in the center console, along with your iDrive controls as well. Coming further back, we do have storage in the center console as to be expected in any SUV. Steering wheel feels nice and thick. Of course, it is heated. And the flat bottom steering wheel is part of that M Sport package as well. So the handling in this car is super crisp. Like I said, BMW, they really put effort into making sure that even their SUVs feel on point when it comes to the handling. The suspension isn't too soft whatsoever. It just feels like this vehicle is going to go where you tell it to, and that's what sets these SUVs apart. You know, what BMW SUVs apart from a lot of the other SUVs in the segment. If you compare this to the GLC feels a bit softer. It doesn't feel as planted or sporty. It doesn't have that sporty vibe. It's more of a luxury vibe in the GLC. This one, you know, it just feels like not only will it get you from point A to point B, but if you find a fun road, you can enjoy this thing a little bit as well. And this is the base model X3. So there's something to be said about that. Now, behind the steering wheel, we do have 2 shift paddles. One has a boost button that's going to give you some additional power for a shortened time frame. And then, of course, we do have a thin film transistor display sitting behind there as well. Coming to the door panels, you know, we do have some injection molded plastic. You know, I wish this was some of that leatherette. This is a BMW. I do feel like they should have put the leatherette there. The door panels also feature their new, you know, LED accents as well. And then the door handles themselves are plastic, and we do have a huge panel here on the door panel for your unlock and lock buttons, and it also controls your 2-position memory. In addition, it also controls your vents on the sides of the vehicle, which is interesting. So that's a plastic portion there. I do kind of wish they made that metal. We do have metal in the center console. I wish they continue that theme on the side panel there. Now we do also have the leatherette on the door panels and storage on the bottom of the door as well. My favorite feature about the interior of this vehicle though is this massive panoramic roof. Now it doesn't open to vent, but it provides a ton of natural light. It is humongous, and hopefully the camera is capturing that and doing it justice, because the panoramic glass goes all the way behind the heads of the rear occupants. It's large. So plenty of daylight coming into this cabin. The seats, 3 levels of heating and cooling. They're not the softest, but they're not the firm. They're right where they need to be. You know, average seating, which you would expect in a vehicle of this price point. And again, they're covered in the leatherette and 3 levels of heating and cooling as expected. The cooling feature does seem to be a little bit louder than I've experienced in some of the other vehicles I've tested, but it gets the job done. Now coming towards the rear seating, what we're looking at is roughly 36 inches of legroom back there. So there's plenty of space, plenty of headroom as well. And you also have 2 USB Type-C ports as well. So you're gonna be relatively comfortable whether you're sitting in the front or the second row. So overall, I think they really checked a lot of the boxes in the X3. But what stands out to me the most about this car is the revised design. The design language from the exterior is now what it always should have been, right? So anybody could be driving this car. You're not going to be able to see this car anymore and be like, oh, I know exactly who's driving that. You know, it doesn't just seem like the typical grocery getter, right? So the more aggressive aesthetic vibes that the design has in this generation of X3 is welcome, right? It needed it. It really needed it. So let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments section. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And until next time, I'm Ben Wayne, the automotive reviewer that YouTube deserves. I'll catch you guys in the next one.